In this session, we'll combine the title block that we created in the first session with the drawing of the Geneva cam and then produce a plot of the results. We'll start by clicking on the Layout 1 tab to switch to the two-dimensional paper space that contains the title block. Now we'll select the pull-down menus Views, Viewport, and then One Viewport. In the status bar area, we'll now turn off the Object Snap option. We'll now specify a viewport inside the title block as shown here. In order to specify the properties of the viewport, we'll first select it and then click on the Properties icon. We'll now left-click on the Standard Scale box and then scroll down the list of available standard scales. We'll select the 1:2 entry, which will set our plotting scale to half scale. Now we'll click on the X in the upper right corner in order to close the Properties dialog box. Our next step is to hide the viewport border so that it will not be plotted. We'll do this by first moving the pre-selected border to the Layer viewport by clicking on the Layer control box and then clicking on the layer named Viewport. Since we have now moved the border to the Layer viewport, we'll now turn off the display of this layer by clicking on the light bulb icon. The last step prior to plotting is to adjust the scale of our dimensions. We'll do this by right-clicking on the standard toolbar and then selecting the Dimension option. We'll now click on the Dimension Style icon and then select Modify. Now, after clicking on the Fit tab, we'll click the radio button next to Scale Dimensions to Layout and then click on the OK and Close buttons. We'll now click on the Dimension Update icon and then select the radius dimension shown here. Now we'll right-click the mouse in order to update the selected dimension. We'll now repeat this process in order to update each of the dimensions. To actually produce a plot of our drawing, we'll start by clicking on the Plot icon. Now we'll make sure that the proper plot device is specified and the plot area is set to Layout. The plot scale should be set to 1:1 and the plot options Plot with Plot Styles and Plot Paper Space Last should both be checked. Finally, we'll click on OK to produce a plot.